Okay, boys, now that March Madness is upon us, I thought it would be fun if we filled out our brackets and reacted to them.
I have the perfect bracket. I am the college basketball chosen one.
Delaware State University wins the big dance.
Sleepy Joe, that's not even the right school. How do you not know where you went?
I thought I went to, I forgot.
March Madness is my favorite time of the year.
I love seeing a bunch of young college boys run up and down the court.
They're too old for you, creepy Clinton.
Let's get on to our brackets.
Just an FYI, we are only doing mine, Obama's, and Sleepy Joe's bracket since the people only care about us.
Gosh darn it.
That sucks.
Maybe next time, guys. We only have enough time for 3 brackets.
Yay, I made the cut.
Okay, so whose bracket should we check out first?
I have the perfect bracket. Obviously, we need to see mine first.
Okay, so up first will be Donald's bracket.
Okay, so we'll start the round of 64 with the top half of the East region. Obviously, I got UConn beating the shit out of Stetson. There ain't no way they getting upset here. Then I got Northwestern over FAU. Northwestern is hella underrated, and this isn't the same FAU team as last year. Next, I have SDSU over UAB. UAB is a decent squad and will keep this game close, but SDSU is a good defensive team, and that shit matters in March. And then I have a nasty first-round upset with Yale upsetting Auburn.
Those are solid picks. Besides Yale over Auburn, there ain't no way Yale pulling off that upset. Auburn is legit this year.
Shut the fuck up, Sleepy Joe. You don't know shit about ball. Yale is pulling this off, trust.
This is a basketball tournament, not a math competition.
Those Yale Bulldogs always put up a fight in March.
Facts, Yale is like that.
You two are biased as fuck.
Yale over Auburn is ballsy, but I think you are sleeping on UAB and FAU, Donald.
I ain't sleeping on shit. We all know all my picks are straight money.
We'll see about that.
Okay, let's get into my picks for the bottom half of the East region. I'm going with BYU over Duquesne because I don't even know what the fuck a Duquesne even is. Then I got Illinois over Morehead State. This game will be closer than most people expect, but Terrence Shannon is a stud and will lead Illinois to the round of 32. Next, I got Drake upsetting Washington State. Drake can be dangerous this March. And to close out the East, I got Iowa State beating the dog shit out of South Dakota State.
Those are all respectable picks. Can't really argue with anything here.
Morehead State can upset Illinois. Don't sleep on them.
I wouldn't mind attending Morehead State.
Washington State will beat Drake, but besides, the rest of your picks are fine.
Say less.
East region is low-key loaded.
Now let's get into the top half of the West region. I got UNC. They are really good this year. They're not getting upset here. Then I got Mississippi State over Michigan State. Michigan State are frauds this year and are going to get run out the building. Next, I have St. Mary's over GCU. St. Mary's have a perfect style for March Madness. They can splash and play very slow, dictating the pace of the game. And I got Charleston pulling off the upset against Alabama. Bama are too reliant on their offense. Charleston will lock them up.
Good picks, except the Bama upset.
Yeah, I don't know if Charleston can pull it off.
This ain't the same Bama team as last year. They getting popped in the first round.
What about Mississippi State over Michigan State?
Don't disrespect Tom Izzo in March.
Tom Izzo is old and washed up. They have no business even being in this tournament. They not getting past the first round.
Donald with some hot takes.
Okay, let me go over the bottom half of the West region. Clemson will beat New Mexico. Baylor will destroy Colgate. They a toothpaste brand, not even a real college. Nevada will upset Dayton. Dayton are frauds. And Arizona ain't losing in the first round again. They will beat Long Beach State.
Seems pretty straightforward to me.
I don't know. Dayton is solid. They should beat Nevada.
Obama's right.
Dayton sucks ass. Easy dub for Nevada.
Put some respect on New Mexico. They're going to make life difficult for Clemson.
That's straight cap Sleepy Joe. Now let's go over the top half of the South region. Houston looks unstoppable this year. They will steamroll Longwood. Then I got Texas A&M over Nebraska. Honestly, this one is a toss-up, but A&M should pull it out. They got a solid squad. Next, I got JMU upsetting Wisconsin. JMU is on fire this season, while Wisconsin is hella inconsistent. There ain't no way I'm picking Wisco here. And I got Duke over Vermont since Duke is Duke.
Longwood for the win.
You're tripping, bruh.
I like Longwoods.
Texas A&M winning the whole tourney.
Shut the fuck up, you Texas meat writer.
JMU over Wisco is wild.
Obama, you're such a casual. JMU is a matchup nightmare for Wisconsin.
Wisco is nice this year. Stop hating.
They ain't even getting past the first round.
Duke sucks ass.
Fuck out of here, Sleepy Joe. Duke is Duke.
Typical Duke meat writer.
Now let's take a look at the bottom half of the South region. I got NC State upsetting Texas Tech. NC State is on fire right now and have all the momentum. Then Kentucky will beat Oakland easily. Next, I have either Boise State or Colorado over Florida. Losing Mika Handlockton is huge for the Gators, and they ain't doing shit without him. It don't matter who they play, they are losing. And too close out the South, I have Marquette, fucking Western Kentucky up.
Don't sleep on Western Kentucky.
Stay off the weed, Sleepy Joe.
I don't know about NC State over Texas Tech.
NC State just beat Duke, Virginia, and UNC to win the ACC. This team is hot right now, and you always got to pick the hot hand.
Gators are legit.
They were legit, but injuries ruined this team.
I actually can't complain about these picks.
Finally, Obama's not a dumbass. Now let's take a look at my picks for the top half of the Midwest region. I got Purdue over whoever the fuck they play. They ain't losing as the 1 seed 2 years in a row. Then I got Utah State over TCU, but that game is a legit toss-up. It could go either way. Next, I have McNeese upsetting Gonzaga, since McNeese is really like that this year and shine on both sides of the ball. And I got Kansas over Samford. Kansas has been mid recently, but they know it's March and it's time to lock in.
McNeese is not upsetting Gonzaga.
You haven't been watching enough college ball this year, clearly.
It's Gonzaga, bro.
So what? They asked this year?
Obama's right. Gonzaga is not getting upset.
Does anybody know what Gonzaga actually is? I deadass have no clue where or what it is.
That's because you're an idiot, Sleepy Joe.
I thought I were acoustic.
TCU is beating Utah State.
Bush, I'm going to beat you.
TCU is the better university.
Okay, let's get into the bottom half of the Midwest region. I got South Carolina over Oregon, but shit, this is going to be a good game. I can feel it. Then I have Creighton dog walking Akron, won't even be close. Next, I have Texas advancing. Texas is hella underrated and should win this. And I got Tennessee beating the fuck out of St. Peter's.
Gamecocks are not getting past Oregon.
I'm always rooting for a team with cock in their name.
Somebody get Creepy Clinton the fuck out of here.
Damn Trump again with some decent picks. Can't complain too much.
Agreed.
You already know the chosen one predicted the entire round of 64 perfectly.
Okay, now finish going through the rest of your bracket, but do it quickly, since we still got to go through mine and Joe's brackets, and we don't got all day.
If you bums would stop interrupting me, then I would have finished going through my bracket already.
Go through your picks for the round of 32.
All right, for the East region, I got UConn beating Northwestern. Yale continuing their Cinderella run with another upset. Illinois beating BYU. And Iowa State running Drake out the building.
Besides that Yale upset, those seem all good.
Yale going to the Final Four.
That's big facts, W.
Okay, for the West region, I got UNC over Mississippi State, St. Mary's beating Charleston, Clemson upsetting trash-ass Baylor, and Arizona edging by Nevada.
Good picks, Trumpy.
Shut your mouth, Sleepy Joe.
Baylor is not getting upset.
For the South region, I have Houston just barely squeaking by Texas A&M. JMU upsetting Duke and continuing their Cinderella run. NC State upsetting Kentucky, and Marquette beating the fuck out of whoever they play.
A lot of upsets in the South.
JMU over Duke is wild.
And for the Midwest region, I got Purdue over Utah State, Kansas just barely beating McNeese, Creighton advancing, and Tennessee beating Texas in a classic.
Finally, some normal picks.
Fuck you, Obama. You don't know shit about ball.
Stop yapping, Donald. Now go over your Sweet 16.
Okay, in the East region of the Sweet 16, I got UConn ending Yale's run and Iowa State beating Illinois. Then in the West region, I have St. Mary's upsetting the 1 seed UNC and Arizona dog walking Clemson. In the South, I have Houston over JMU and NC State pulling off yet another upset and beating Marquette. And in the Midwest, Kansas will take down Purdue, and Tennessee barely beat Creighton in what should be a classic.
2 number 1 seeds going down is risky.
It's March. There are always going to be upsets.
My favorite round is the Sweet 16, if you know what I mean.
Now let's get into my picks for the Elite Eight. Winning the Eastern region will be Iowa State as they upset UConn. Winning the West region will be Arizona as they advance past St. Mary's. Winning the South will be Houston as they end NC State's Cinderella run. And winning the Midwest will be Tennessee in a close game with Kansas.
UConn losing here is asinine.
Don't ever doubt the pick god.
I can't cap. I agree with most of these.
As you should.
Okay, Donald, finish up your Final Four.
So in my Final Four, I got Iowa State beating Arizona and Houston beating Tennessee.
Houston to the Natty, you already know.
Houston ain't beating Tennessee.
And you're giving Iowa State too much respect.
Okay, and my pick to win the whole tournament will be the Houston Cougars. I like Iowa State a lot. But if this matchup were to happen, I see Houston avenging their loss in the Big 12 championship.
Okay, so that was Donald's bracket for this year's March Madness.
You all just witnessed a perfect bracket.
All right, now it's my turn to show you guys my bracket.
I think we all know this one will have a lot of L's.
I'll start off the round of 64 with the East region. I got UConn over Stetson, not much explanation necessary. Then I got FAU over Northwestern. FAU got more experience. Next, I have UAB upsetting SDSU. UAB looks good this season and will be dangerous. And I got Auburn over Yale. Auburn is legit this year. They can make a deep run.
Those picks are ass, goddamn.
Donald, stop being a hater just because Obama has different picks. Then you...
Auburn is not beating Yale.
Facts, Obama is a bum.
All right, now let's get into my picks for the bottom half of the East region. I got BYU over Duquesne. BYU has a legit team this year, and if their offense doesn't stall, they will win this one. Then I got Illinois beating Morehead State. Illinois is a contender. They are making a deep run this year. Next, I have Washington State in a close game against Drake. WSU team is good. And then I have Iowa State winning easily.
Way to take a risk, Obama.
Stop hating George. Those were good picks.
Besides the Illinois meat riding,
I think we all know why Obama is sucking Illinois' dick.
Illinois finna go stupid this March.
they say that every year Illinois ain't shit.
Now we have the top half of the West region. I got UNC winning and advancing. They are just too good to get upset early. Then I got Michigan State over Mississippi State because Tom Izzo is March. Next, I have St. Mary's beating GCU since St. Mary's plays team basketball, and that is a recipe for success. And I got Alabama destroying Charleston.
Weak-ass picks, especially Michigan State.
These are okay.
For the bottom half of the West region, I got New Mexico upsetting Clemson, since I feel Clemson isn't as good as people make them out to be. Then I got Baylor beating up Colgate, because Baylor is like that. Next, I have Dayton over Nevada, in what I expect to be a close game in which Dayton proves to be the better team. And I also got Arizona advancing over Long Beach State. Zona's offense will be too much in this game.
I like that New Mexico over Clemson pick.
Same. That's a realistic upset.
Still too many weak picks. Obama will never be as good as the chosen one.
Okay, now let's get into the top half of the South region. Houston will beat Longwood up. Then I got Nebraska over Texas A&M. Nebraska has done well this season, while Texas A&M feel like the definition of mid. Next, I got Wisconsin over JMU. Yeah, I get it. JMU is nice, but this Badgers team is very underrated and could win a few games in this tourney. And I got Duke beating Vermont because there ain't no way this Duke team gets bounced in the first round.
Nebraska pick is god-awful.
Not everything is about Texas, George.
Not only will Nebraska fail you, but so will Wisconsin.
Shit, if we being real, so might Duke.
For the bottom half of the South region, I got Texas Tech beating NC State, since Tech is capable of winning big games. Then I got Kentucky handily beating Oakland, because Calipari has himself a squad this year. Next, I have Florida advancing, since the Gators always seem to make noise in March. And I got Marquette beating Western Kentucky, especially since Tyler Kolek should be back.
I like that Texas Tech pick.
Don't sleep on NC State, though.
Florida pick is horrendous. They ain't winning.
Donald, stop being such a hater for every pick. Say something nice for once.
Obama, your wife is your husband.
That was the nicest thing Donald has said all day.
Now let's go over my picks for the top half of the Midwest region. Purdue is winning. No matter what, it really seems like this is the year they break through. Then I got TCU over Utah State. TCU was up and down this year, but it's not like Utah State was any better. Next, I have Gonzaga beating McNeese. Gonzaga may not have Drew Timme anymore, but they should still win at least one, if not two, games. And I got Kansas, because with a healthy Hunter Dickinson, this team is scary, and there are not many teams capable of beating them.
TCU is for sure winning.
Gonzaga may be costly. They could easily lose.
Every team Obama picked that I didn't will lose.
Donald's ego is higher than Hunter.
Biden or Dickinson?
Both.
Okay, and now the bottom half of the Midwest region. I like Oregon over South Carolina. Something is off about this South Carolina team, and it seems like they will get exposed by an Oregon team who is getting hot at the right time. Then I got Creighton over Akron. Creighton is just too good. Next, I have Texas advancing since they play tough ball and can always be dangerous in March. And I got Tennessee. Yes, I know St. Peter's is a Cinderella team, but there ain't no way they managed to do it again.
Good picks besides Oregon.
Obama, you should have took more risks. There are usually a lot of upsets in the first round.
Trust me, Joe, I know what I'm doing.
I got faith in Obama.
Thank you, Bill.
Just shut your mouth and make your picks for the round of 32.
Okay, so we'll start the round of 32 with the East region, where I got UConn over FAU, Auburn beating UAB, Illinois advancing over BYU, and Iowa State dominating Washington State.
Cupcake-ass picks.
BYU could be a matchup nightmare for Illinois, but besides that, all good.
For the West region, I got UNC beating Michigan State in a dogfight, St. Mary's barely beating Alabama, Baylor beating New Mexico, and Arizona advancing over Dayton.
Way too much love for St. Mary's. They not all that.
Same thing for Baylor. Their ass better be on upset watch, especially if they play New Mexico.
For the South region, I have Houston over Nebraska, Wisconsin beating Duke in a close game, Kentucky running Texas Tech out the building, and Marquette beating Florida.
Honestly, can't complain with any of these.
Only thing he got wrong is Kentucky. There ain't no way they beaten Tech.
And to finish off the round of 32, for the Midwest region, I have Purdue steamrolling TCU, Kansas beating Gonzaga, Creighton over Oregon, and Texas pulling off the upset over Tennessee.
Finally, an upset pick. Took long enough.
And it was the Texas Longhorns. Yeehaw.
Bad pick, though. Tennessee is a powerhouse. They for sure Elite Eight bound, at least.
I'm not sold on Tennessee, to be honest.
They'll humble you soon, don't worry.
Okay, now let's get into the Sweet 16. For the East region, I got UConn beating Auburn fairly easy. UConn is just too stacked. And then in a massive game, I got Illinois over Iowa State. Then in the West region, I got UNC over St. Mary's and Arizona beating Baylor. Next in the South region, I have my biggest upset thus far, with Wisconsin upsetting the 1C Houston Cougars and Kentucky beating Marquette. And in the Midwest region, Purdue will beat Kansas and advance to the Elite Eight, while Texas continue their run and upset Creighton.
Those were all respectable picks that I could see happening.
Especially that Texas upset.
I don't know. I think this bracket is pretty bad.
Shut up, Donald. It's better than yours.
No, it's not. My shit is perfect. I never lose.
I remember a time you lost.
Okay, let me do my picks for the Elite Eight. Winning the Eastern region will be UConn. I love Illinois, but UConn is much better than them. Winning the West region will be UNC. This game should be fun, but UNC may actually make a title run. Winning the South, I got Kentucky. Their offense is unstoppable. And winning the Midwest will be Purdue, since we all know Zach Edey will be eating in the paint.
Bro deadass picked almost every single 1 seed.
So what?
You're such a puss, Obama. Grow a pair.
I think he's got a smart strategy.
It could either work out really well or really poorly.
Obama likes the favorites.
In my Final Four, I have a dream matchup of UConn against UNC, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say UNC pulls this one off. And on the other side, I think Edey will be too much for Kentucky, and Purdue will beat Kentucky and move to the finals.
UConn losing is wild.
They ain't going back to back.
Still, they would beat UNC.
It would definitely be a close one.
And my pick to win the whole tournament will be the Purdue Boilermakers. UNC is solid, but this Purdue team is on a mission after the last 2 years of falling short. This year, they will make it over the hump and win it all.
Purdue winning it all is a joke.
I got to agree with Donnie here.
You guys are wild. Zach Edey in the paint is straight barbecue chicken.
Edey is low-key bitch made.
That's facts.
Okay, so this was my bracket for this year's March Madness.
It looks like Sleepy Joe is up next. This should be fun.
Chris Webber in Michigan got this. There's no way the Fab Five don't win a natty.
Sleepy Joe doesn't even know who's playing. He's going to get the first perfect bracket by getting everything wrong.
Let Joe cook.
In the top half of the East region, I got UConn beating the shit out of Stetson. Then I got Northwestern edging FAU in a close game. Next, I have San Diego State over UAB, since SDSU is like that, and Auburn destroying Yale, since this is a basketball game, not a spelling bee.
All pretty reasonable picks.
In the bottom half of the East region, I got Duquesne upsetting BYU because Mormons can't play ball. Then I got Morehead State upsetting Illinois because I want Morehead. Then I got Washington State over Drake, since I think I live there and Drake is zesty. And Iowa State handling business against South Dakota State.
Sleepy Joe is back to being a dumbass.
Only normal pick was Iowa State.
Bro doesn't even know what sport we're talking about.
I don't know, NBA.
Stop being mean. Let Joe make his picks. Joe, continue with the West.
In the top half of the West region, I got UNC slaughtering Wagner. Then I got Mississippi State beating Michigan State, since Izzo is old and washed. Next, I have Grand Canyon upsetting St. Mary's, since there are too many white guys on St. Mary's. And I got Alabama over Charleston, since they have a good football team.
Good logic.
Joe's bracket is looking good.
Obama, are you fucking stupid? The tourney hasn't even started. This bracket is already busted.
In the bottom half of the West region, New Mexico is beating Clemson and will go on a Cinderella run. Then Baylor gets pressed by Colgate, but finishes the job. Next, Nevada over Dayton, and Arizona will destroy Long Beach State.
Not bad here.
In the top half of the South region, I have Longwood upsetting Houston, since I have a long wood.
What the fuck? Are you crazy? No, you don't.
Donald, don't interrupt.
Then I have Texas A&M beating Nebraska in a good one. Next, Wisconsin stands on business versus my good friend James Madison. And Vermont beats Duke.
Sleepy Joe needs his meds.
Those are two massive upsets in the South region.
This dude doesn't know what the fuck he is talking about.
I like that Longwood pick, though.
In the bottom half of the South region, I got NC State over Texas Tech, since that big fat guy is cooking. Then I have Kentucky beating Oakland. Next, I have Florida winning no matter who they play, the Gators or March. And Western Kentucky sending Marquette home early.
The Gators are definitely not March, and that Western Kentucky pick is terrible.
Hella upsets over here.
In the top half of the Midwest region, Purdue will stand on business this year. Then TCU slaps Utah State up. Next, Gonzaga beats Mick Chickens, and Samford upsets Kansas, since the Jayhawks are banged up.
This is such an L, holy shit.
Donald, let me cook.
Sleepy Joe, you don't even know who's playing.
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah? Where is Samford located?
Afghanistan, I think.
Sounds about right.
Holy fuck!
Let Joe continue.
In the bottom half of the Midwest region, Oregon will beat the Gamecocks in a close one. Then Creighton beats up Akron. Next, Colorado State beats Texas, since they coming off a win. And St. Peter's upsets Tennessee, since they are the P in my cocks.
What does that even mean?
Sounds like something I'd like.
Joe's round of 64 is wild.
At this point, Twin Tower Bush or Creepy Clinton would have made a better bracket than Sleepy Joe.
For the round of 32, East region, I got UConn beating Northwestern, Auburn over SDSU in a tight one, Morehead State continuing their Cinderella run, and Iowa State beating Washington State.
These aren't too bad.
This ain't bad, it's horrendous.
In the West region, I got Mississippi State upsetting fraudulent-ass UNC. Then I got Alabama over Grand Canyon. Next, New Mexico exposes Baylor, and Arizona dog walks Nevada.
UNC getting popped in the second round is laughable.
It's March. Anything can happen.
In the South, Texas A&M advances over Longwood. Wisconsin beats Vermont. NC State continues their wild run and beats Kentucky, and Florida over Western Kentucky.
That NC State run could actually happen.
Nothing in this bracket is happening.
In the Midwest, Purdue beats TCU, Gonzaga over Samford, Oregon upsets Creighton, and St. Peter's goes on another Cinderella run.
Holy fucking shit, I can't with this.
In the East, UConn beats Auburn, and Iowa State ends Morehead's crazy run. In the West, Mississippi State beats Alabama, and New Mexico upsets Arizona.
Bro, what is this guy on?
Donald, if you interrupt one more time, you will be disqualified.
In the South, Wisconsin beats Texas A&M, and NC State over Florida. And in the Midwest, Purdue beats Gonzaga, and Oregon beats St. Peter's.
Good picks, Joe.
A little bit crazy, but plausible.
I mean, it's all right.
I have no words.
Okay, now on to the Elite Eight. Winning the East will be UConn. Winning the West will be Mississippi State. Winning the South will be NC State. And winning the Midwest with a nasty upset will be Oregon.
Bro's got 2 11 seeds in his Final Four.
Stop hating Donald.
You're an idiot, Sleepy Joe.
I'm winning.
Go over your Final Four, Joe.
In my Final Four, UConn will beat Mississippi State and Oregon will beat NC State. And that means my national championship will be UConn versus Oregon, and I got UConn winning it all.
After all those upsets, he's got the biggest favorite winning the whole thing.
This bracket is disgusting.
I think we all did a great job today.
Stop being a bitch, Obama.
Okay, so these were our official March Madness brackets. Let us know in the comments who had the best one.
If you enjoyed the video,
Like and subscribe.
And be sure to comment down below your bold March Madness predictions.
Also, give us a follow on our TikTok and Instagram, and be sure to check out our other prediction videos.
stay tuned for new videos every week.